Hello and welcome to the third vlog. As you're aware, I'm doing bits of vlogs as part of the Restraint Reduction Programme at Aqua. Decided this one I'm going to talk about debriefs. It's been a big issue in both the Restrain Yourself project we did and in the current Aqua Restraint Reduction project. So I'm just going to quickly give you some, or share some information really from what we have found over the last 3 years. So in terms of debriefs, what was cropping up a lot, and you'll probably find it in your own organisation, is that every time you want to do a debrief on a restraint issue or a violent incident, that most staff will tend to say they're busy, it's really hard to fit it in. The staff who are generally involved in a restraint or a violent incident end up off shift, or they're off for a few days, or they're on annual leave. It's very hard to get everyone into a room to talk about an incident. And to reflect on that. So we've been working with a number of the teams to try and find different ways of doing debriefs. And at the end of the day, for me, if a trust has a clear strategy around restraint reduction and it prioritises debriefs, puts that within the delegated tasks on shift, that it puts it on the list of things that need to be done. So it's more likely that it will happen. Also the IT systems and the way you record debriefs, that there needs to be more information to put on the system about the quality of that debrief, and that information goes to both the ward manager but also to the PMVA trainers in your organisation, so that they're able to use those examples to shape the way training is delivered, and use them as case studies. In terms of the debrief itself, what we found is that people were getting into the habit of talking about the physical techniques they used in the restraint, or talking a lot about the patient's behaviour. As part of the restraint reduction project, what we've been getting across to people is the need to not focus too much on behaviour, focus more on the reasons behind the behaviour. And in terms of the physical interventions, focus less on the physical interventions and much more on the root cause of why you ended up in that restraint in the first place. What led up to that incident occurring? Whether that was a restraint, whether that was a violent incident or self-harm. Sometimes it doesn't need to be all the staff in that meeting. So you may have one or two, and that the others who may not be around, it's fed back to them, or they can read the form and add to that form at a later date. Also, debriefs don't have to be separate from other spaces where staff meet. So for example, there's no reason why a debrief couldn't occur in a handover, so that all staff on that shift are aware of what has happened, and what the outcome of that debrief was. The debrief itself, when we talk about the quality of it, people need to get into talking about root cause. So they needed space to talk about how they feel and how they felt at the time of the incident or the restraint, but they also need to have a chance to work backwards as to finding out what that root cause was, identifying that and putting that as an action to be followed up, and that allows then the ward manager to chase that particular issue up. Another key element to what's really helped with debriefs is patient debriefs, and that's about the patient being able to tell their story. If you get the patient to tell their story, don't ask them 20 questions. Let them just talk. Take some of the key things from that and feed that into a debrief, or feed that into their reviews or handovers, because there's some quite powerful stuff that's come out of that, and that people have found that really helpful, and that's helped to change practice. Right, so there's just some of the things around debrief that people have found helpful. But again, it's a kind of just keep banging on at it until people start to see it as the norm within their practice. The next vlog, I will probably talk about the My Safety plan and some of the least restrictive planning that we've done and how that's worked. I'll probably give you some case examples. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Do like 6 minutes.